technical difficulties, but what's going on, guys? JZTV back with another video. In this video we are going to be talking about the weekly track roundup, all the music that has dropped this week. There's not that much. There was like 17 songs, a little over 45 minutes of music, so I won't be here for that long. But here we go. After this we can do the Walking Dead stuff. I'll probably do that a little later. I'm going to be watching the actual, like the 23rd episode of The Walking Dead. We'll review the 22nd at some point today. But let's get into it. Starting with Lil Yachty, pretty much the main event of it all, dropping Tesla. Lil Yachty has been on a pretty decent run lately, dropping a lot of singles. Maybe he's having an album come out this year. We know that he already had Let's Start Here already, which actually I have right here. Funny enough, Let's Start Here. One of the best albums of 2023. Hopefully he drops like an actual rap album, because I know that's what his fans would want. But Tesla's a great little leak. So yeah, sorry about the background noise. I have roommates, obviously. But Tesla by Lil Yachty, pretty solid. It went by the name before as like a snippet. It obviously came with a Lyrical Lemonade video, which I did not watch that video, interesting enough. But pretty solid song nonetheless from Yachty. Up next we have Gucci Mane with There I Go. You have J. Cole. You have Mike Will made it on the production. Mike Will made it and J. Cole have been seen together in the studio a couple of times. And they've been on a pretty solid stretch. And J. Cole's been doing a lot of features recently. That could be a sign of a new album to come. The fall off is still supposed to come. I think he had like a plan for him retiring. I think he said he was going to drop a couple more albums, and then he was going to retire. One of them's the fall off, and the other I don't remember the name. We could very well be getting a J. Cole album this year. I think it's been a couple years since we've gotten his last installment, which was obviously very successful with the off season, but Gucci Mane's had some pretty solid moments this year as well. J. Cole being on his record, obviously. What's the album called? Breath of Fresh Air. He's already had like Lil Baby on his album, Kodak Black, 21 Savage, The Baby, and Arto Wick. I don't even know why he doesn't just release the album already. He already has so many singles, but yeah. Burna Boy dropped a track with J. Cole as well. That was the only track I checked out. I know he did drop an album, and people are kind of raving over it, kind of going crazy, but this is the only thing I wanted to talk about, and J. Cole has a solid feature. And this Burna Boy album is an industry machine. We got GZA, we've got 21 Savage, you got RZA, you got J. Cole. Pretty solid names on the album. Burna Boy is obviously a huge artist worldwide, so yeah. Wish You Well, French Montana, and Sway Lee. Obviously, the last time these two came together, they made a diamond track with Unforgettable, so this was pretty looked forward to, pretty anticipated by a lot of hip-hop fans. Pretty solid song. Sway Lee has like an interesting accent on here that I've never heard him use. I think that was kind of interesting. Not really much to say about it. It wasn't super memorable. French Montana with his typical flows, as we get into Tyga and YG's new song, Party Time, which is a very interesting sound. It has like this old school, like, kind of like an old school, like 80s hip-hop, inspired hip-hop beat. It's cool. It's a party all the time. It's cool. You can play it in the club. That's really what like Tyga's music is made for. He's really just making club bops out here, which I respect it, but yeah, not much to say. It was cool. There were some cringy moments, of course, but yeah. Sauce Walka drops off his new album, where we have a Big 30 feature. We have Money Man on this album. We have PZ. We have a couple other guys. Not really much. PTSD and are pretty solid. Sauce Walka, I'm pretty sure he's a veteran. I'm pretty sure he's been rapping for quite some time, so it's kind of interesting to see what he came out with here. It's not bad. Sauce Walker's okay. The singles going into this album were meh, as you guys have seen like on the previous weekly track roundups. We have covered those, so yeah. Next we have Jordan Ward. He dropped a deluxe album, but I only really we already listened to the 6 Lakh track. That was like a single for the deluxe. That was alright, and then I'm just gonna listen to Junie from the original. That's what I did. The one with Junie. I don't really have much to say about that. These are kind of some of the more forgettable tracks, moving down into the track or into my playlist, because I make a playlist every week. So BK the Rula had a song with Youngboy. Obviously, BK the Rula is a pretty big like female underground artist. She's been kind of going crazy. She's had like Detroit Lonely on some album, on some records. She's a pretty big time. She's been doing music for about 5 years, I would say, and now she has Young Boy. Young Boy's a really big feature to get on a record. So shout out to BK the Ruler for scoring that. And honestly, it wasn't that bad. I think Young Boy's vocals go really well with this type of sound. Not really much to say as we get to Peasy and Key Glock's No Amiri. Honestly, a pretty solid banger track. Key Glock has been on a pretty fire run recently. Obviously, carrying on the legacy of Young Dolph, rest in peace. But yeah, Key Glock has really successfully carried that legacy and given Memphis even a bigger name, and he's really separated himself from other Memphis rappers as possibly one of the best out of the area. So, and he proves that on this song. So, really dope song. Not much to say though. 2 Rare drops Rare Story Part 2. Now I'm gonna be honest, I can't really stand 2 Rare. Like the freaking chalkline hairline looks fucking wacky. He's got braces. He's cringy. Okay, he's a very cringy rapper. I guess this song's solid. I don't know. I can't really put any positives out for this song. It's okay. Glock 40 Spaz with Different Goals. Honestly, a pretty solid track here. Glock 40 Spaz kind of going in an interesting direction. I think he had kind of like a Cardi sound. Maybe he is Cardi influenced. I don't know a lot about Glock 40, but I don't know. One and Only and Freddie Dredd dropped a song, Pop the Trunk. Obviously, Freddie Dredd has inspired generations of rappers. I mean, Suicide Boys obviously took a lot of inspiration from him, and you can hear that in his music as well as the Suicide Boys music. Obviously, the Suicide Boys have their taste, they have their influences, they have their favorite artists. So, yeah, the song's kind of weird, but I don't know. K-Swab, K-Swab dropped off an album, and he has D Savage and Famous Dex on it, as well as Trippie Redd and Sky Morales. So, Flying was pretty cool. I love D Savage. D Savage is awesome. He's a great artist. So. That was a cool inclusion. Obviously, Famous Dex, haven't heard him in a while, and his voice didn't really sounded super unfamiliar. But when he ended the verse with Dexter, I was like, Dexter. I was like, okay, that's Dex, Famous Dex, I guess. That's what his voice sounds like. Super interesting to hear him on a record for the first time, and God knows how long, probably at least a year. Trippie Redd and Sky Morales. Obviously, Trippie Redd is really close to K-Swab. I believe Trippie honestly signed him to his label or something. I don't really have the inside scoop on that, but they work together a lot, so I'm assuming they're pretty much affiliated with each other at this point. So yeah, solid stuff. D Savage and Famous Dex, though, pretty cool. I don't really care for the Trippie Redd Sky Morales song. I feel like it waned a little long, but the D Savage Famous Dex song was pretty solid. As we get to 21 Lil Harold, very interesting name. I feel like it's got to be inspired by 21 Savage, but he dropped an album a while back, and I think he had a song with Meek Mill and 21 actually, so it's interesting. I thought I'd give him another chance, and I'm going to be honest, I don't think it's that great. He still has some potential. He can still grow in the rap game, but I don't really see it right now. I'm just trying to reach every realm of hip-hop that I possibly can, show some people some love, and it's cool. So leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. I make music videos, I do movies, TV shows. Later on in the day-to-day, we're going to be talking about The Walking Dead. That'll be fun. Throughout the week, I'm going to be doing an edited video a day so you guys can get quality during the week and pretty much casual stuff during the weekend. So yeah, hopefully Drake drops next week too. That's a hope.